Welcome to the Daily Shift. You heard that right. The Daily Shift. The show where we block out the noise and speak truth, train your mind, and help you become the absolute best version of yourself. Leo and Andrew are on their way. You're in the right place. And while you're here, take a breath. We're about to dive in. The show starts in 30 seconds. You ready? Take a deep breath in and breathe it out. Prepare for your shift.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Shift, to the Wednesday episode where we dial leads live and we close deals. I have 3 quick bullet points. Most of you have probably heard, and I'm going to remind you of it because we all need the reminder. And then I am going to, while I'm talking about those 3 bullet points, be dialing some leads I have. So if you submitted leads, you're going to want to hear this as we're negotiating your deals. If you haven't, if you are in any of our coaching programs, you can submit leads and the link will be in your email. All right, welcome in, and thanks for being here. I want to see in the chat real quick, put in the chat, what is your biggest challenge right now that you're facing? What's the biggest challenge in your real estate investing business that you're facing? Hello there, Marlon. Kay, nice to see you. Mary, good to see you. Luz, good to see you. Marilyn and Amanda, welcome. What's the biggest challenge you're currently facing in your real estate investing business? Put it in the chat. I want to see, because as I'm dialing these leads, it seems like we're having a challenge, by the way. I'm looking at the lead forms now. The team is working right now on solving a challenge we have on the back end lead form. So forgive us for that. All right, hop on in. We're going to start dialing. We're going to see if we can get somebody on the phone here. And we're going to start off with a couple of leads that Joe and Judith have sent. All right. So starting off first, we are calling Mr. Josh. See if Josh answers. Getting him on the phone's the toughest part. All right, we're going to review some challenges here in the chat.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
We're going to try another one. We're going to next, let me see what my team's sending me here. We have our guy who runs the back-end office. He's out of the country this week.
Hey, this is Josh calling. Hey, this is Josh calling back.
All right, we're not getting answers here. We're going to try one more before we go to some additional updates, and then we start answering these questions. All right, we're going to try Kimberly. Tried Josh, tried Tara, now we're trying Kimberly. We're still on Joe and Judith's leads. Shout out to Joe and Judith if you're on here. Guys, this is where the money's made in real estate investing. And I want to point out as we're doing these, the three biggest points in real estate investing is number one, getting leads. Number two is getting follow-ups done. And number three is getting contracts. That's the whole business in itself. And when someone doesn't answer, if they're your leads, I highly encourage you, get on the phone and text them. Say, hey, it's Andrew. I was interested in your house. For the sake of time today, with the challenge on the back end, I'm going to skip the texting. But always text when they don't answer, because 97% of texts get read in a matter of minutes. So how do we get leads? This is where anytime, I don't care if you're doing 1 deal a month or 10 deals a month or 1 deal a year, the bottleneck will always become, especially if you're in the early stages of, am I getting leads? And if we solve that challenge, and only when we solve that challenge does, of course, the next level become a challenge, which is, how do I follow up? How do I have the right things? And number three, how do I get contracts? Which means, how do I know it's a good deal? So I'm going to read a few of these questions, and then we're going to dial. Shout out to Kay, if you're on here, my friend. We're going to call a couple of Kay's leads. And Beverly, if you're on here, if you could, for all of you who are listening, please continue submitting via the form. But while we're having trouble with the back-end form, Beverly, if you have a lead you need me to call, please go ahead and text it through, and I'll call that as well. I know you have my cell phone number. You're part of the Freedom Life Mastermind family. All right, let's read some of these challenges, because that's what we're here for. We're going to dial some more. Teresa says, finding a deal that's a solid deal. Okay. Jason says, lack of quality leads and mastering the closing call. Okay. Marilyn says, making calls and getting sellers to answer. I feel that one. Beverly says, lack of quality leads from paid leads. Okay, good to know. Getting quality leads, optimizing time. All right, we're getting a lot of feedback about leads. Now, here's the challenge. Anytime that you're getting on the phone with sellers. Now, if you're not getting on the phone with sellers, we can't solve it, right? We got to be on the phone with sellers. It is getting on the phone with sellers. That is the whole game of the business. If you're not talking to sellers, you have no business. But if we're not getting on the phone with sellers, we have a leads challenge. How do we solve the leads challenge? Now, there is what you can do. This is the way I think. And then there's what you're likely to do. What you can do and what you're likely to do. What do I mean by that? I mean that you know and I know when you hear something or see something and you know, hey, I'm probably going to do that. You guys got the text today. You made a decision. You said, I'm going to log in every Wednesday and I'm going to watch Andrew close deals live because I need to sharpen my skills. And even if I've seen him do it before, I might grab a nugget. He might name a new lead source they're working, which, by the way, we're testing a new lead source right now. Assuming it produces great results, we'll be rolling it out and sharing it on this show in coming weeks with you guys. But I want to make sure that it produces the lead quality that we're being told it does. All right, so what is it that I can do? Every one of you can go on Facebook Marketplace. You can go in and you can message 10 people a day and say, I'm interested in buying your house. And you can get people to message you back. Some of you go, oh my gosh, that's simple. I'll do that. Some of you, though, like me, the moment you hear that, go, yep, not going to happen. Why? Because we also know ourselves. And you have a decision to make. It's saying, okay, I need to get leads. How am I going to do that? Once I get leads, I need to have conversations, which is the only way we're going to get good is by listening to someone else and then having the conversations. And then number 3, how do I get the contract signed? All right. So Kay Ireland, I'm going to go ahead and dial your lead. Getting them on the phone some days, my friends, is the hardest part. Kay has a lead that is on Indiana 250. Mr. Randy. All right, we're going to dial Mr. Randy now. And by the way, just so you guys know, while we do this every Wednesday, some Wednesdays, we're going to hit home runs. Last 2 weeks, we've negotiated. Hey, it's Andrew calling you back. Is it Randy with the house for sale in Bennington?
Yeah.
Cool. I think I told my partner Kay a couple days ago, and we had a couple questions if it's still available.
Actually, I think I might have it sold.
Oh, congratulations. Does that mean it's already under contract, or you got a verbal offer, or what's the story?
Verbal.
Okay, cool.
So far.
Very cool. Okay. And let me ask you this, do you still entertaining offers?
I don't know. It's a cash offer. They offered me $290,000 for it. So.
Okay. And what were you originally hoping to get?
About 300.
Yeah. If we could pay you 300, would you entertain doing some owner financing and we give you 10 more grand in your pocket?
I don't know. You'll have to let me get home and talk to my wife.
Okay, cool. When should we call you back, brother?
Can I call back at this number?
Yep. That's perfect, brother.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it'll be a couple hours or something like that.
All right. I'll wait your call. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Now, with this guy, I'm going to give a couple takeaways, and then I'm going to go through some more of the comments. So keep the comments coming. With this guy, it's very obvious he's ready to get the heck off the phone. He told me he already has an offer. Interesting, right? Because somebody told you they're going to buy it, you don't stop accepting offers. So we know that probably there's a high likelihood that the offer is full of hot air because it's verbal. All right. So we need to figure out what his hot button is, but we wasn't going to find that out on that call because, as you can tell, he was wanting to get off the phone. So we have the conversation, we ask the questions, and we'll talk to him later this afternoon. So shout out to UK. And keep Randy on my radar here in about 2 hours. Kay's one of our incredible mastermind members as well. All right, we're calling another one of Kay's leads. This one is on Kavanaugh Ridge Lane. And I'm telling you, my objective is to keep this as exciting as possible, but this is the boring stuff that wins the business, guys. And I want you to understand that, because this is the boring stuff that wins the checks. When you're on the phone, understand you're going to dial. You're going to sit down and you're going to do calls. Half at least ain't going to answer your phone. And then you're going to start texting them. And this is the loop that many of my real estate investor friends run in. Ah, crap. I started calling them and nobody answered. Well, crap. I sent them out here 30 minutes later and they're calling me back. Now I have to book out the rest of the afternoon to answer calls. Understand, there's a couple of things. Number one, if you're doing any amount of deals at all, you should have the CRM. You should be dialing through your CRM and getting all your texts and things running through that. But number two, you should absolutely book out your calls in a schedule that fits your timeline. Now, if you're the boat of, gosh, I just need to get an extra 10K this month, then sure, maybe you want to have your phone on you while you're doing your work or your grocery shopping and answer every phone call that comes in. I did that for a period of time. That was the season of hustle. Now, I have another meeting this afternoon after this. Somebody calls me back. They won't hear back from me until that meeting's over. So just understand you're scheduling the time, again, by not only what works for you, but what you're likely to do. All right. We are calling Jill. We'll dial a couple more, and then I have a few more notes for you from the comments. I'm going to shout you out in the comments. Shout out to Luz. Shout out to Marilyn. Uh-oh. Let's try this again. 2893. All right. We're going to call this one on Grand.
Please leave your message for...
Well, we're going to try it again.
Please leave your message.
All right. We'll get a couple more dialed in. See how it goes. Good news for you guys also who are part of the community. And quick note as well, Judith, when you submit the deals, I see you sent Tara's lead. Make sure you send her phone number along with that. So fill in her phone number on the lead sheet. So again, we have this form in the back end. I'm going to call a couple more leads. Let's keep the shout outs going. Kay, so good to see you on here. Trader Van, every Wednesday is a great opportunity. Thank you for your dedication to helping. You're welcome. I'm glad you're here, Trader Van. Seemed like a real estate agent beat me by a day or two. So I'm not sure what that was in regard to, but you will talk to a lot of real estate agents. So definitely note that and get used to those conversations. While those are not the highest quality, I want to share this because this is going to be very impactful for some of you on here. A real estate agent who actually we do lots of business with today came from my very first ever mailing years ago. I didn't buy a house from her, but I called her and we connected. And next thing I know, a few months later, she's buying houses from me. She's buying wholesale deals, and then she's selling me deals. And we have done many hundreds of thousands, probably over the years, millions of dollars of business together because of that connect. So now I talked to a few hundred more realtors that were just a conversation, a hello and a goodbye. So don't get caught up in trying to make relationships work that will never add value, but understand that there is value to be had there. So ask questions. Mr. Tim Keogan, so good to see you on here, brother. Bill Welsh, hello there. Kenny, nice to see you. Tim McAlvey, mustering the courage to make the closing call. By the way, Tim, I know you're coming into the Freedom Life Mastermind. We just accepted Tim. Shout out to Tim. We are doing the special announcement for our Freedom Life and Freedom Life members, and you guys are going to be getting an email. We're going to be doing a lot more dialing together in addition to these Wednesday dials. Because the biggest thing, guys, if you've not already been doing deals, like understand it's math. Type it in the chat. Money is math. How do I get enough sellers on the phone calls, get enough no's to find a few who will say yes? All right. We're going to dial somebody else, and I'm going to go back to the comments. Let's see. We have here Kay. Shout out to Kay for submitting all these leads. Way to go. Either Kay has figured out the magic touch to get this lead form to work or submitted these before it had the challenge. But it will be back to working regular next week. All right. If you're taking notes, you should write it down. This is going to happen in your life and in your business. Deal with what comes up or deal with what emerges. Things will often go sideways. If you're doing a Zoom, tech won't work. A camera won't work. Something's going to happen. If you're calling a seller, the dog will start barking in the background, or the kids will yell.
Your call has been forwarded to
Or you'll be driving. There'll always be a reason that something is going to go sideways. And so for all of you, just start working through those things. We can make money, as you've probably heard me say, or we can make excuses, but we can't make both. All right, we're going to call Carlos, Beverly's lead. Shout out to
Hello.
Carlos. Andrew calling you back about your property on Juniper. How you doing?
Hey, Andrew. Good, buddy. How you doing?
I am so good, man. I think you talked to my partner, Bev, a little bit ago. Did I catch you at a good time?
Yeah.
Cool, man. So I was looking over the details on the house. From my understanding, am I understanding right? It used to be your mother's house, and now you're selling it, or kind of bring me up to speed of the background.
No, it's been my house since I bought it.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Got it. Your mother's in Raleigh, and you're moving to Raleigh. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just Johnson County, so it's like Clayton area,
Yeah.
Clay Garden area. So
Heck
not all
yeah.
the way to Raleigh, but it's about an hour and 30 minutes from Jacksonville.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And I have down your asking 240. Is that accurate understanding?
I mean, it's a number that we came up with, just about what we're thinking for the stuff we put in it, so it is around that price, yes.
Okay, but it's flexible.
Yeah.
Cool. Let me ask you this. So the way we would normally work, by the way, we're not realtors, so there's we would pay the closing costs, close with a real estate attorney, and there's no 6% commissions or none of that crap. If we was to work out the details, what do you think would be the least you would take on price, brother?
I really don't want to go lower than that. That's why I tell so bad. I really don't want to go too low on it. Just because of what I have in mind I'm doing. When I move out. But she said she was going to give me some numbers and see what we thought about it. I know she said she was going to, but it won't be lower than 235 or 230, somewhere around there.
Okay.
But like I said, it's once it comes down to numbers, it's it depends on on what the offer is, and we'll think about it.
Cool.
And there's different variables.
Of course. Okay, that makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. Absolutely. For Bev and I, we would buy it. Normally, the way we'd do it is we'd take over that 159 you owe on it, and then cover, of course, that that $1,200 a month PITI payment, and then we would take ownership, buy it, close with a real estate attorney. We would be responsible, of course, for everything, and then we would pay you that remaining, 70-something thousand in equity out when we resell it down the line. Would that work for you?
That's an option that she said it was on the table. There was another option where I told her that we were looking more to have it, if it was a cash offer, just because of a lot going on right now. So
Of course.
because we're not planning on buying like right away, but it is something that there's different decisions that we as a family are making, and that's the reason why we are doing a cash offer. At least that's what we want to stick to. If it was in another time where we were planning on building a lot or something, we would definitely do that. But right now we're just thinking about what will be a cash offer
Got it.
on it.
So if we bought it, we took over the 159, what's the least amount of cash you would accept in your pocket? Above that 159 debt. Think I may have lost you, brother. You still there?
Yes, I'm here, but I'm listening to you.
There you are. All right, cool. What's the least amount of cash over that 159 debt that you would accept in your pocket?
I really want to, have as much as we can. I'll be straight up honest. I mean, I guess anybody would, right?
Of course.
But I really don't want to go. I don't want to have any less than, than 65 or 70. But like I said, it's my numbers might not be the numbers you and Beth will come out with. Like I told her, one thing for sure is that either I'll go ahead and do it now, like this month, or even if another option was that if I wait a year to go ahead and sell it, either way I have to get over. I got to sell the house from now or a year from now.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever number if the numbers, we like the numbers that we see, like, let's say today, I mean, I just got to find a renter and I'll move out. That's how fast I can make that decision. If it's something that I'll have to wait to put it for sale or something like that, wait a year, which I don't want to do that. But it's another option as well. So
Yeah.
I guess it just depends on the numbers, but I do want to stay on that, like I told her, on that 70, 75 margin. But like I said, it all depends on the offer as well.
Yeah. Okay.
If it's a cash offer.
And just to clarify, we can close on your timeline. We buy houses two ways. A small minority of deals that we do is, the ugly houses that need a lot of work, then we pay fast cash and close them up, that type of thing. It doesn't sound like that's at all what this home is. This is about 80% of our business. And the way we do it is we can pay you top dollar. We can pay you closing with our real estate attorney and the closing costs, but it would be a delayed cash sell. So on that, let's say 65 to 70,000 in your pocket. If we could agree on a price now, like let's just say we made a deal today, and I'm still looking at the numbers online, but like let's just say we made a deal today and we said, hey, we'll pay you $235. We'll put 65 or 70 in your pocket. We'll close whenever you want, but we're going to do that by taking over the debt and then paying you your cash out when we resell the property. Is that something you would be ready to move forward on, or you would need additional information first?
Okay, so when it says a cash offer, that means that you will have to sell the house first before the money will come to me.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like a cash offer doesn't mean that we'll make a deal and then the 75, let's say the 60 or 65, and you will pay me that amount to me.
Correct. Yeah. The only way we could, write a check to you, and make it make sense, would be to put probably half of that in your pocket. I know that wouldn't work for, you know what I mean? We'd be willing to write out a check for that 20 or 30K probably today and close the darn thing. However long it took to get title, next week, but to give you a full, the full price for it. Yes, we would have to do that over time.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long is that? Just to.
Yeah. So
until you sell the house, or is it something that once we sign all the paperwork with the attorney, that's when we get a check, or is it? It has to be until you sell the house.
Correct. If we pay retail, it would be over time. The way we do that is we buy the house from you. We could close it. Let's just say, for example, we agreed today and we closed it in July, and then we put it out. And we have a specialty of finding people who need some time to qualify for a mortgage. That's how we make our profit. So we would go find that person, install them in the property, and then help them get their mortgage, fix whatever's broke with their credit. And upon them paying us off, I can't tell you the exact timeline, sooner than later, because that's when we get our profit. But as soon as they get their new loan and cash us out, that's when you get paid off your full cash amount, and we of course profit the difference. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
So how much is it when we sign everything with the lawyer and all that?
I'm sorry?
How much money is it up front?
Normally, if we're buying this way and paying retail, we buy with nothing down since we're paying closing.
Oh, okay.
Would that work for you?
No, I wouldn't need something.
Okay. What's the least you could accept now and the rest later?
I'll have to think about that. I didn't. I guess whenever I talked to Beth, I didn't understood that part, that half of it was going to be, or let's say half or less than half was going to be up front,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest was going to be until you sell the house.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking that was only happening if You see, the thing is that I will need as much as I can, as much as we can
Yep.
up front. Just because I'm moving, there's a lot of family emergencies, and I will need some cash flow.
Yep. So if we could pay on top of paying the closing, of course, as you know, 6% realtor commissions aren't cheap. So we're going to be avoiding that with us buying it directly from you. So with us paying closing with our real estate attorney, paying the closing, no realtor fees, all that stuff. So what we agree on is that, the net you get at the end of the day when you're cashed out. What is the least you could accept now and the rest later? Moving money and, whatever you need to be able to be comfortable.
I will will have at least half of it.
Oh.
I'm thinking, because let's say, because I don't want to go in a bind. Once I move, I be thinking on how long it's going to take for you to sell the house, and it could be 2 months, 3 months. Hopefully not. I don't know if it's going to take a year. I know Beth also mentioned that there's like another option where it could be a year or until the house is paid off. It could be more than 1 year. I can't have that.
So let me ask you this: if we was just to write you a check the day we close for say $10,000, and then the remaining, whatever, $55,000 later at an agreed amount of time, would that work for you? $10,000 now and $55,000 more at an agreed amount of time.
Do you mean like payments, or do you mean one full payment after that?
One full payment.
With
Later.
Later. With a specific time or until you sell the house?
When we sell the house.
It's something that I will have to think about. But
Okay.
Obviously, we could do that. It's just I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but I just don't want to be in that time waiting.
Yeah, and just so you know, I want you to do what's best for you and your family. Whatever that is. I don't care whether I buy the house or not. We're going to buy at least 3 or 4 this month, and if it's this one, I like this one, and I'm okay if it's this one. But at the end of the day, it's what's best for you and your family. So, would $10K now and the remaining, not put you in a bind? Would that be something that would be worth considering for you?
I'll think about it. Like I said, it's something that gets my attention on it.
Yep.
I'm just more concerned on what is going to be that time.
Okay.
Because I can once I move back over here in the next 3 months, I can move out of the country. So I don't want to be in that position where I can't move out of the country because I'm waiting for the money of the house.
Mm-hmm.
That's because that's the family emergencies that we got going on. I talked to Beth a little bit about it. I don't want to go into these details, but it's that we could make a decision for us to, especially for us to move out of the country in the next 2 months, 3 months. We don't know. It could be next 60 days. And I'm like, okay, how long is it? If like I told Beth, how long? A year. I don't want to be thinking that I have to be here for a year. Something happens. Now I'm gone, and I'm like, okay, now we're gonna have a situation,
Yeah.
So that's the only thing about it. It could be a 10K, 20K at the beginning. That's fine. I just want to know how long is it gonna be, and I know it's harder for you to tell that. But what are you hoping? Is it gonna be like a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, a year?
Well, here's.
After
I hope it's tomorrow afternoon because I want me and Bev to get a big, beautiful check. But I'm not going to make you a promise. I'm not going to make you a promise I can't keep. So we got to get to, we got to get to a number that doesn't stress you, right? So that's that's my objective on this call. So if we gave you 10 now and closed it now, and the rest when we resell it, like is that something that you would strongly consider, or would you consider a slightly lower price and we could give you a little more now since we're going to be tying up more cash in the deal?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll consider the 10K. The more I get, the better. Just because I will have that in my pocket.
Of course.
If anything happens in the next 3 or 4 months, then I know, like I said, I'm okay with it.
So next question. How long do you need to think on this? Do you need like a couple months, a couple days, a couple weeks, a couple hours? What you thinking?
Just give me this evening. I'll think about it.
Cool.
And I'll talk over it with my wife on it because we already had discussed this stuff. We just the understanding was, at least what we had to understand was that if we did get a part, it was going to be either half and then half until you sell the house, one, or it was going to, the whole thing was going to be up front once we, sign the contract and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Beth did told us, if we do that money, than if we wait a year or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, okay, yeah.
Well, let's do this. What's your wife's name, Carlos?
Offer. Huh?
What's your wife's name?
Gloria.
Gloria. Let's do this. Talk to Gloria tonight. Bev and I are going to brainstorm this a little further as well. And then let's me, you, and or Bev, you, and Gloria get on the phone in the morning. What time is good for you?
Tomorrow, anytime tomorrow morning.
Okay. Bev will put in her notes. She'll reach out to you in the morning, answer any questions you have. I'll be available on standby. I do have a meeting quite a bit of tomorrow morning, but I'll be on standby. Okay. And so I'll step out of that meeting if needed. Bev can loop me in because I do a lot of the underwriting here and stuff we do. So think of questions. You and Gloria, think of all the questions you can, Carlos. Write them down, and when Bev calls you in the morning, just bombard the heck out of us with the questions because, again, assuming this is the right decision for you, we'll be sitting on go to move forward, and if it's not, we'll at least give you a good direction to know what's available for you. Cool?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Awesome, brother. You have a great afternoon.
All right. Thanks,
all right.
buddy.
We'll talk soon. Bye for now. Bye. Let's go. All right. Great job, Beverly. So, a few things about that I'll share. I'm looking at the comments now. Amanda says, I think my holdup is mental. I've negotiated a few deals verbally, and I'm anxious to see one cross the closing line and mentally connect to that success. I love that. I love that perspective, Amanda. Thank you for that. Couple notes I'm gonna share here that I think will be huge for you and for all of you guys is that in between. This is, yes, the high dollar value, right? Calling and negotiating the deal. I do this for the community all the time, for our mastermind all the time. You know that many, probably almost all of you who are in the mastermind at some point have been on a three-way call with me one-on-one some evening when we're closing a deal together. Here's the challenge. I negotiate a great deal, and then they have brain boogie. I mean, people are making a big decision. They're selling their freaking house. And so the way we follow up post-conversation, even something as small, I'll give you an example. There was a book I was reading. Actually, it's the one right behind me here called The Goal. And the study they did on the name just left me. Anyway, they did a study and they took customer service reviews where customers were disappointed and the customer satisfaction was going down. And on the sales call, the rep would say to them, you'll be receiving your product in 21 days. Cool. Boom. Hang up. On average, between days 7 and 14, customers would get antsy and start texting and calling or would give a bad report of their customer service. Now, they was told on that sales call in 21 days it's going to show up. But in between days 7 and 14, they started getting very antsy. Day 21, it would show up, and they would have an okay experience. So they changed it, and they started having the non-update update. If you're taking notes, write it down. The non-update update. Their customer satisfaction went to like an average of 3.5 stars to like 5 stars. Some astronomical change because they started doing the non-update update. They would text them 4 times over those 21 days and say, hey, just wanted to let you know, so-and-so with such and such company, and your order is perfectly on track. You'll be receiving it as promised on X day, day 21. Those 4 touches between the sales call ending saying you'll receive it on the 21st and them receiving on the 21st took customer satisfaction. This is so important when you're dealing with these deals because this person's going to make a decision, going to sign the agreement with Beverly. Beverly's going to be working to buy the house. These are going to go by, and the title company's going to be running a report. And every day they're sitting there going, gosh, I wonder when I'm getting my 10K. I wonder if everything's going as planned. I wonder if surely everything's good. This is what's rolling over in their mind. It's what they're talking about around dinner. It's what they're thinking on. It's what they're laying in bed talking about at night. And so the fact that Beverly, or better yet, your CRM, is texting them and saying, Carlos, just want to let you know everything is on track perfectly. XX title has got the file and moving it forward as planned. Let me know any questions you have. That touch, now the conversation goes from I wonder to, oh yeah, Bev texted me today. Boom. Everything changes. Guys, as you are becoming the business owners, if that's all I said on this show, it would have been worth your time here. All right, we're going to see if we can call one more. Perhaps we'll call... We have here, I see Judith sent me a lead, but there is no phone number on this lead. Let's see if we have anybody else. The arbitrage between call and contract is as key as contract to close. All right. We are going to call Josh because I do not have Tara's number. So, Judith, unless you want to send me Tara's number, we're going to call Josh. All right. Boom, 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 boom. All right, this will be our last dial. And then I'm going to give you guys a couple of takeaways that are going to change your world.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
All right. So, we'll do one more. Judith just sent me Tara's number. Let's see if Tara will answer. You guys having fun with this?
Oh,
Hey there, it's Andrew calling you back about your Iowa Street house. How you doing?
that's fine.
Good. Is this Tara's house? Tara? Am I saying that right?
Tara.
Tara, cool. And you are Tara?
Yes.
Amazing. Good to meet you, Tara. I'm Andrew. I think you talked to Judith, or was texting with her at least, about your house there. And I was just calling to get a little more info about it, see if it was a fit for what we're looking to buy. Does it need a lot of work, Tara?
No, and he's actually started doing the work to it because we're just the hallway over the weekend. He put insulation up in the hallway.
Just so you know what I'm doing on the laptop to the
Ceiling,
side is I'm
and
just
put
Googling it. It's
drywall
what I
up
do when
there
I call
and
sellers.
some
I just pull it up on
lights in.
Zillow. Okay.
And the living room has been completely redone. He built a real nice entertainment center. He built it himself. It's got laminate floor that's waterproof down. The walls have been completely redone.
Give us some
Electric's been
likes, some
completely
loves,
redone.
and some
It's
comments.
got 2 real
Helps with the algorithm.
nice ceiling fans in the living room.
Thumbs up.
Can
Keep them
lights,
coming for me. Thank you.
speakers. He's got the flooring sitting on the porch for the dining room. It's just getting the stuff out of the dining room to do the dining room floor. He's got the flooring to put in the 2 bedrooms downstairs and the hallway. The upstairs has all new flooring in all the bedrooms but one, and we have almost got that bedroom cleaned out because we've been throwing a lot of stuff out and away.
Let me ask you this.
For that.
How much, because I retired from doing the work myself, so I'd be hiring it all done. How much do you think it would cost me and Judith to get this thing in tip-top shape if we wanted, after we buy it from you, to, you know, finish the updates?
By the time he gets done, you wouldn't have to do nothing.
Okay. Well, that's what I like to hear.
I mean,
okay, cool.
He's got, like I said, he's got all the flooring, and he's been just working on it as little as he can, but he works, you know, during the
Guys,
week.
this is so much fun.
And then, like I said,
and I'm telling you, when they start answering the phone, it's hard to quit dialing. I know I've got another meeting coming up. Oh, crap. This is the magic. You get to help a lot of people change their lives and change yours while doing it. Let me ask you this. What are you hoping to get out of the place, price-wise?
The lowest he wants to go is $140.
140. And is
the AC and furnace was replaced in 2018. I believe I got the paperwork up there. And the roof was a really expensive roof from Monazay Roofing, and it has a lifetime guarantee on it.
Okay, good.
And
what do you think?
It's not like we've let this house go. I mean, we have done improvements like crazy.
What do you think this thing would appraise for, Tara?
Oh, probably more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, he's got trim, brand new trim that he's brought home from work, and I mean, because I think we're just going to do the work ourselves and then put it up for sale, because by the time he gets done with it, it's going to be, it's got carports that he built out there, two nice carports that he's built up.
This is a 150 house,
there.
Probably,
we put a new
so
driveway
not much
in,
equity.
New sidewalk in. It's got a humongous deck out back, and it has electric ran to it.
Okay. You own this? How long have you owned it?
We've been here for 17, 18 years. The first year I was renting it, and then I got to buy it from the people.
Yeah.
And it worked out good when we first moved in, because we had kids, and their bedrooms and a bath was upstairs, which was perfect. Well, they're older now. My daughter's getting ready to turn 36.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and they're both married. They've got their own family. You know what I mean?
So you downsizing or what?
Yes, because we don't use that upstairs at all. The cats go up there and play.
Well, let me ask you this: is there still a mortgage, or you paid it off already?
No, I paid it off.
You pay, okay. So there's a couple of ways we buy houses, Tara, and we do sometimes pay cash, but it's for houses that need a ton of rehab, and we're offering a cheap price. Normally with a house like this that you're getting in top shape, we can pay you top dollar. Of course, I'm not a realtor, so there's no commissions, none of that crap. I mean, I pay the closing costs, but we would do it where we pay you over time. Are you familiar with that?
No.
Okay, so just means that we agree on a price now. Let's just say we agree on 135, 140. We pay the closing, and then we start sending you a check every month. We're responsible for maintenance, repairs, taxes, and insurance until we resell it down the line, at which point we pay you off that 140 cash. Is that something that would work for you?
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
Because I borrowed money from my dad to have a cash down payment for our next house, and when I sell this house, I've got to give him that money back.
How much is that?
$70,000. Yeah.
Is he a nice dad or a tough dad?
It depends.
Oh, okay.
I would say nice, because he gave us a little bit, me and my sister, a little bit last year, a little bit of our early inheritance, and I got to pay my house off with it and get a brand new car. And then he let me borrow, this money, which I thought that was nice of him.
That's real nice. Would he let you, as we pay you monthly for, till we ready to sell it, would he be okay just letting you pass that money along to him every month? And then when you get the big check, he can get the big check?
How much it would be a month?
How much is taxes and insurance? Which I'm sure that'll change after we buy it.
I'm on disability, so I don't.
Oh, gosh.
I don't pay taxes.
Okay.
And I know that taxes ain't that much. Our homeowners insurance, and that's just because she put it up, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you know how it depends on what you want with your homeowners, and if something happens, like we have like a year we can spend in a hotel or whatever, and extra money and whatnot. And we paid what did we pay on it? We paid $1,100, I think, and that was for the whole year.
100 there too. Okay. Let me ask you this: how much? Knowing we're responsible for the maintenance and repairs and taxes and insurance, and you're free and can move on, what is the least you would take every month till we paid you off the $140 cash?
Oh, I don't know. I would have to talk to James about that, and my dad.
Okay. Would something like $350 a month to you till we pay you off the $140? Would that work?
What, $350 a month?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. And that's with what? No money down?
Usually we buy it with nothing down. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we could do that.
Okay. What would be important to you? Getting a little more monthly or getting a little bit down?
I think we'll just go with the way we're going to do and then put it up for sale.
Okay. If we just paid you cash, knowing we'd have to have a discount, of course, what's the least cash price you would take? Is that flexible at all, or are you pretty set on the 130s, 140s?
I think he's pretty set on the 140 because when we pay our dad back, then we want to take the rest of the money and put it down on the other house just to help pay it off faster. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me ask you this question then. If we did agree, let's just say we could do 140 and James and your dad and everything's on board. If we did that and we said, hey, you said there's a number that works for me every month. If you do X, I would be so in. What would that number be? Just hypothetically speaking, if we did it.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I really don't, not until after I talk to them.
Okay. If we agreed on a price and a number, what's the longest you'd give us to pay that off, to resell the thing?
Oh, shit. I think you could. I don't know. I don't think it would take that long to resell it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he said because I don't know. That's why he said something about just putting it up for sale just because I don't think it'd take us long to sell it.
Yeah.
And he's got some good ideas. I mean, really good ideas. So
where should we go from here? I know you reached out, looking to sell it, and we're definitely interested in buying it.
We were gonna was just wanting to see, cash offer things, and then we had just decided no, just because, prices we was getting and stuff, and you know what I mean. And then we just decided to heck with it because it's taken us forever to find a house too, for one thing.
Yeah.
Because we had a house in mind, but he beat us to the putting the agreement thing in, so they took theirs over ours, and so we lost that house. And did we go look at a house today again? And I don't know. It's just, I'm starting to get a headache now.
Well,
I'm looking at houses.
I don't blame you. So let's do this. You talk to James, you talk to your dad, and then let's us all meet back up. What's better, tomorrow or Friday? And just brainstorm a little bit.
It don't matter, tomorrow or Friday.
Okay. All right, we'll call you back Friday afternoon. We'll call you, and you can have some time. And just know, if we don't buy it, that's fine. I'll give you some direction on maybe some pointers. We've bought a few hundred of them in the area. I like that area. And if we do buy it, it will be the easiest transaction you've ever had because we want a headache-free experience for you and for us. So any questions you have in the meantime, jot them down, and we'll just reconvene on Friday and see where mine is. Cool?
All righty.
All right. Thanks, Tara. Bye for now.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Schedule a follow-up because she's not in right now. We need more time, and I got a meeting coming up in 2 minutes. I'm going to give you 2 more notes. Beverly said, could you do a DSCR loan and pay him out sooner? The answer is absolutely. There is a second HELOC you can get, but I want to always do deals that make good money with bad numbers. And so if you do agree to get a HELOC or a DSCR and take him out, I want it to be a substantial discount, reversing, Bev, to your deal. Fast forwarding to this, Judith, note down to call him on Friday. And great job, guys. Keep the deals flooding in. We have a lot of exciting things coming up for our Freedom Life and our coaching students. You'll be getting an email with the additional dialing sessions we're going to do for all of you. We have Bible study tomorrow. Me and Leo's going to be hanging out here talking about the Bible. And next Wednesday, we're doing daily deals, weekly deals again. So we'll be here calling and closing deals right before your very eyes. All right, go get some money, go make some calls, go get some leads, follow up, and make some movement happen today. All right, if you've enjoyed this, give it a love and a like and a share and a thank you and a whatever else that helps boost the algorithms. And thank you for being here, guys. See you soon. Bye for now.